know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? I knew it would come in. My wife bought me a Swarovski pen, you know, when we first got married. She was like, you know, you got all these things.
Dang, that's 8 years, well, soon to be 8 years old.
Yeah.
You keep all your stuff, you're good.
And she was like, you know, you can take this to your business meetings. You know, you got big clients, but like, it's a little too sparkly. You know what I mean?
You don't like it?
I love
Okay. Because I'm going to say you give it to me.
it.
Give it back.
So this would be great to do book signings because I've only used it once. So we should have plenty of ink here.
Oh, but real talk, I bought him that. We talk about this in the book. But of course, we're not trying to make a whole lot of plugs, but everything that we say.
Oh, yes, we are.
Is it true we are?
We are here the plug. We are the plug.
But I think what I'm trying to say is like everything that we say is actually real stuff.
Okay.
When I met Ken, I saw the king in Ken. We talk about how we met, which was a little different.
It's one of the questions we're going to get to.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
But I saw the king in him, and Ken was running his own business at the time, and he's always writing, always reading. So I was like, yo, you know, I bought you a Swarovski pen. Of course, girls like blingy, shiny things, and he didn't tell me at the moment that he didn't like it. But
I do like
this
it.
is almost 8 years.
I do like it.
You like it?
I'm pulling up to make sure that I can see what they see.
All right.
You know what I'm saying?
We got our
Can you see on Facebook? Yeah.
we have our baby here, y'all. This is something we never thought we would have, but we started doing these little clips. It started off in Florida, Jacksonville, Florida. I was recording Side Effects of You album. Not Side Effects of You? Oh, honey, it's so many albums.
I didn't know her back then, so I try to play like maybe 1 or 2 songs a year off her old album because she wants something about me. You know what I'm saying? So I know it wasn't Side Effects.
It was,
but it was sketchy.
okay.
Yeah.
Sketchbook.
It was sketchbook.
And
Okay.
let's see.
So I might have you throw some questions later, like, you know what I mean?
All right, Trav will be our Dorikas for today.
No disrespect, bro. No disrespect.
But we had dropped like a little clip or something on IG of just a little bit of the music. And there was no words, there was nothing, and we had realized that people were going on and they were like, nah, go back to the old, you do this, too. And it blew my mind. I was like, yo, I didn't even hear anything. We just live in a world now where social media is a platform for people just like either doing some old sloppy, crazy, ignorant stuff, or they're, you know, going on to jump on to be very opinionated. And I was like, yo, Ken, let's just do something positive.
Yeah.
Let's put some positive stuff out there. Like, I have a certain amount of people who follow me on Facebook. I call them family, our family. A certain amount of people who follow me on IG. And I was like, let's post on both platforms positive stuff. So we started doing this thing, and I was like, let's call it Taylor Talk.
Yeah, it was like 30 seconds at first. It was 30 seconds.
But I must say, we had some real,
some good ones.
Yeah,
you have to go back sometimes. Sometimes you got to go back to go forward. And it was just our wanting to use our platform to just put a positive vibration out there. We didn't have an angle. We didn't have an expectation. We really thought it was going to be a one-shot done.
Yeah.
And it did numbers. So I remember we sitting there looking at each other, and she was like, "Why don't you do one?" Now I had never done a live, come out from hiding, done any of that. But I was like, "Yo, for positive impact, I'll step out from the shadows." And so I did one, and you did one, and I did one. Then we said, "Yo, let's do a minute."
Yeah.
So we did a minute, and then when COVID hit, right before COVID, right around the time, we said, "Let's go live."
Yeah.
And I mean, it was like almost 40-some thousand people tuned in, and that's when it was like, there's a hunger for truth. You know what I mean?
It's that. It's in, can you think they can hear it?
He took it all. It's got a red button. You just cut it off.
Right in here. In the
we live. Like, we ain't, this is how our book is. We ain't trying to be perfect. And then if you pop it open and hit the red button, it'll cut off. So yeah, we started doing Taylor Talks, and we had started getting so many people coming on. We brought in DJ Sean Nice. Shout out to DJ Sean Nice. What up, bro?
And his queen Lisa. They've been together now for
We saw him in the second class.
Yeah.
Yeah.
8, 7, 7, 8.
Yeah, 8, 7, 7, 8.
And he would come in and play the music. Shout out to Derikus. Miss you much. Can't wait to see you tomorrow. He would be on the other mic giving a singles perspective, and we would be talking about marriage. Not only marriage, we talk about marriage, faith, family, business. We put it all in here. But long story short, so we can get to you guys' questions. We have moved to a different platform because we realized like they were cutting us off, couldn't play our live music, and we were charging like.
We went to Patreon.
We went to Patreon.
Yeah, that was weird.
It was weird. I'm saying this because we only can do what, an hour and 30 on live. When we do our quick little videos, that's how long it's like.
You gotta hit it and quit it.
Hit it and quit it. And so they started coming up in the comments saying like, "Will you guys do a book? Why don't y'all do a book?" Yeah. And we were like, "Ah, that's cute, that's dope." Yeah. And then we got offered a book deal. Not only did we get offered a book deal, of course, you know, we've been having conversations about taking Taylor Talk to a bigger platform. I said it to say this: we didn't do this to make money off of it. It was every Tuesdays we would get up.
We did it for almost 3 years for free.
We did this for 3 years?
It was almost 3 years. It was almost 3 years. We did that one post when we hit 2.5 years. Our first Taylor Talk post was like May 2019.
No. Oh, yeah.
No, my phone right there, but I would. Yeah,
really?
Yeah. All the way to about when we did that very first one at that condo in Florida. Yeah.
So yeah, we this is not like a money grab for us. I know we're living in a time where everybody's doing things for money grab. For us, it's bigger than that. We believe that our life and our story is a testimony for other men and women, couples, business people, mothers and fathers, family. Like we talk about a little bit of everything in this book, how we came together and how all of those things that I just named changed when we linked up. Believing that marriage still works. You know what I mean? How they say in church, blood still works, marriage still works too, baby. And it ain't easy. We're not out here trying to, plug stupid stuff. Just
life too short to be fake.
Say it again.
Life is too short to be fake. You look up, you see people have a car accident, or have a stroke, or a heart attack. And it's like life is so precious. The last thing you want to do is spend your life being fake, not being who you truly are, who you were truly created to be. And so, we were doing our little tap-ins with the Taylor Talk joint. And again, the only reason why I jumped on is because I'm always looking for more male perspectives as it relates to relationship, fatherhood, and marriage, because I didn't have those examples in my life. And almost all the men that I grew up around and socialized with and interacted with, we all had that same void. And I go to the gym a lot, and if you go early in the morning, you cut on the TV, you see The View, you see The Real, you see, I don't know what's on, I know some stuff just got canceled, but point being, you see all these platforms where world discussions are taking place. They're talking about things that influence the culture, that influence family, that influence our buying and purchasing habits, but not men. Most of the time you see men sitting on a platform talking in agreement, it's about sports or political debates, but not the things that touch the community, not the things that I can take away and it'll make me a better man for my family. So again, we were going back and forth, and then during New York Fashion Week, my wife was promoting the book, and she went up on the Breakfast Club, and she used the word.
I want to promote the book. The
album. My bad. Well, we even did. She was promoting Sketchbook, right? And we had PTSD coming out. It was, an album on our label. And
our label, say it again.
Yeah.
Our label.
Yeah. It's some juicy stuff in that book, in the Contracts and Covenant chapter that talks about why we did that. But there's actually a question in here that we're going to get to. Okay. But gotta ask some other questions. But my wife went on the Breakfast Club because, again, PTSD had crossover potential, yada, yada, yada. And her and DJ Envy and Angelique started talking about relationships, and she used the word submission.
Oh, they went up.
And
on the tube, it was like, what happened?
So I couldn't be there because I was trying to multitask at the same time. I was in New York, but I couldn't attend. And she hits me up. And she's like, babe, people are tearing me apart. They're dogging me. They're dragging me. And I'm like, about what? And she told me. And I said, that's it. Don't worry. That's an easy fix. Because submission is always coming. You think about the woman. You don't think about submission as it relates to men and how we're supposed to submit and how it begins with us. And if we live a life that is submitting to a higher power than ourselves and our ego and our chauvinisms, then we create an atmosphere where a woman will be willing to submit, understanding that submission is a gift.
Yes.
It is not a prerequisite to marriage. It is not something you have to do to be in obedience. It's saying that I see something in you that's so attractive that I trust, that I'm willing to take the power that I possess, and I'm willing to undergird it under your leadership so we can collaborate. At the same time, I don't have free reign to go do what I want to do, spend what I want to spend. It means that we're going to come to take to the table about every aspect of our life. That's whether we're talking about the children or how much we're going to spend on Amazon. We talk about these things, even us. And she trusts our decision knowing that I'm going to keep everything she wants to find. And I still don't know, yo, baby, what you want to do? Because I'm on the line from this woman. So sometimes I do what you think. So again, she goes up there and says submission. It goes completely left. So I went live to explain a little bit more in detail what I did just now. And that's when they said, okay, we understand who they are. And that's what gave Taylor Talk the Jumpstart.
And you know what was so dope though? Like, I had a lot of men coming to me like, yo, that's what's up. Like, yo, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Thank you for what you said. And then your husband came behind it and da-da-da-da. Because I didn't know like what was going on. I really don't pay attention to all the talk. I really, really don't. People call me and they're like, it's fun, da-da-da-da. But I've been in the game for almost 20 years now, and so I realized that.
Looking good after 20 years in the game.
Hey, we know on Taylor Talk, this is like a whole different thing.
Man, they can get it too.
Don't show
I just said I ain't gonna spend my life being fake. I'm a full-time flirt. I
So
don't have no vacation time, no sick days, no paid time off.
Yeah, not lying. But, you know, I meant it, I said it. I think Wendy Williams went up and was like, agreed. I was like, okay, Wendy. Several women went up and was like, yo, I see what she's saying. But that word is a word. You're like, girl, what you talking about? I'm not submitting. And I do feel like a lot of the men out right now, I'm not making it easy for women to feel like they can or want to submit.
Yeah.
So that's why we said no crowns in this castle.
What does that mean?
At the end of the day, I'm going to give you an example. And I'm going to let you finish it. I go do a show. How many people be in there? And thank you, Lord, for all the doors you opened for me. And we got to the point where we started doing arenas.
Yeah.
And that's like how many people out there.
30,000 people.
Okay. Y'all, I would go out there and I give my everything to travel on that stage. You know.
Oh, yeah.
Okay? But when I get off stage, what's the first thing I do?
Come check on me. Ask me, am I hungry? Do I want to eat? What do I think about the
I'm
show?
going to wife room. Because I will never let that stage. It's my gift and it's my ministry and I love what I do, but my family comes first. So right now we sitting in our home. I drove back to the house to meet Ken because we've been working. I'm working on Color Purple in this city.
Killing it.
No. I'm trying. But I drove back and to come together with my king and promote our baby. My family comes first.
Yeah.
There's no crowns in this castle. I don't walk around here like I need, white M&Ms, white roses everywhere. Please don't bother me at such and such time. Get the kids away. Like, they are my drive. They are my gasoline when I'm empty. They fill me up. They give me everything that I need. So there are no crowns in this castle. When I'm off stage, I'm off stage. I don't bring CD home. I don't bring anything that I'm doing home.
Yeah.
You understand? And neither does Ken. And I think that's how we're making it work.
Let me play for a minute.
Go ahead.
And then I promise we'll get to the question, but we got time. This is why no crowns is important for me as a man, because a lot of us were raised by our mothers. we didn't have men to show us the blueprint of how to conduct ourselves dealing with emotional friction, how to handle conflict with opposite sex, how to communicate and go through the emotional chambers that are required to lead a woman. Traditionally, it's like, yo, you go out, you make the money, you don't cheat, you have your time with your friends, you come home. That doesn't work anymore because the dynamics of life have changed. Women have degrees, women are starting their own businesses, women are completing further levels of education, while statistically, we are tapping out, not finishing what we started. So I realized that, such as myself and other men, man, we have to kind of step up and play a different game. The rules have changed. The rewards are the same. I like that. The rewards are the same, but the rules have changed. And so no crowds is important because when men don't raise the standard of their character to meet the requirements for a woman to trust in your leadership and submit to you, what we do is we start throwing out the accolades. So,
come on, somebody.
So we start throwing out the accolades to substitute for our character. Well, I make the money, or I'm the athlete, or I pay the bills, or I dot. But what's hiding behind that is the fact we haven't done the interpersonal development and the work on our character to be able to navigate that in such a way where those accolades are no longer needed. And we've been there. We've had disagreements where and we share that in there, but we had to get to a place to realize that's not how we met. That's not what's important to God.
Yep.
And if we want to have a God-filled marriage, we're not going to get to heaven. He's going to say, Fantasia, how many hours did you serve? He ain't going to say, hey, Kendall, man, how many programs did you sell? How many countries did you go to? No, what he's going to say is, first and foremost, did you lead your family closer to me? And with the microphones I gave both of y'all, where's the return on my investment? So we chase a lot of things out here that don't matter, and we bring those things into the one place where we're supposed to be naked and free and loved unconditionally. I had to learn how to show my wife my weakness, and it made me stronger.
And that was hard.
Ooh, it took me about 4, 5, 6, 7
That was hard. I'm being honest, but I think that's for most men. It's like I can't show you that. I'm gonna use worship for an example.
Let's do it.
We had a little spat one time about worship.
How you gonna argue about
Worship. Okay. But I think it was because women naturally we don't mind. It's easy for us to cry out. It's easy for us, because we're women.
It's already right there.
It's already
right there. Just read.
But Ken, when I met Ken, he was already, first of all, he had a Bible in his house. I was like, yeah, nah. Then I opened it and he had like tabs, marks, and I was like, yo, you read your Bible? You know what I'm saying? Praying? This dude can pray, right? But when it came to worshiping, worshiping is actually unveiling your everything and pouring it all out there. And I'm a worshiper. I do, y'all know what's up. I do it on my stage today, right? I end my shows in worship. Now, be honest. When you first saw that, tell them what you said to.
I was gonna come back. Okay, so boom, let's cook.
Yeah, let's cook.
And then we gotta start.
We gotta start. Okay.
We gotta take the top of it up. So check it out. I'm a general. I'm a king. I came up in the streets. I've been through a lot. I've had a lot of traumas. I've had to wear survival as my clothing. So it takes a lot for me to get into a place of worship where I can shed those tears and I can let go, right? That's just a little background. So I go to my wife's show. And I'm rocking. I'm back there drinking. I'm having a good time. I'm on that Jack Daniel's honey, to be exact.
I'm done.
You understand? I'm on that honey boo boo, right? Because you know that's crazy. All right. So I'm back there and I'm chilling, and then we having a great time. Shows late, and all of a sudden she going to worship, and I got so uncomfortable. I was like, whoa, like. It kept happening until the one day I found myself backstage behind a curtain, floored out, crying. My wife taught me through her demonstration how to be powerful in my worship, which the power is in surrender. I had the scriptures, I had the quotables. I had the precepts. I had the concordance. I had the Hebrew context. But I didn't have it was in my head, but it wasn't translating to my heart. Which means I wasn't being the best father that I could be. Which means I wasn't being the best son to God that I could be. Because if I'm coming to God as an intellectual, I'm sparring with him instead of coming to him like a babe. You're demonstrating, because here's my thing. If my wife can worship in front of 30,000 people, how I can't worship in the bedroom by myself? So her courage in doing what was uncomfortable for me at first, it taught me. And by putting me in a better position to be closer to God, the things I knew analytically came to the things to my heart, that's when it clicked. And I will always be grateful to you.
And that's how our marriage stands. That's how we survive. That's how it's that worship piece. Because come on, though Bible readers know that the when you're married and the bedroom, you know what I'm saying? What?
What you say?
You trying to kiss me?
I'm trying to do something.
I'm gonna keep my lipstick on.
Cut camera. They know how I do.
But
You take me on Good Morning America, I'm getting me.
you get what I'm saying though. It's almost like when you're able to push through that.
That's the only way we can get through the stuff that we've been through. Is it a book? I got a book on
But you what? Listen.
Okay.
And you can break through that. And you can truly, when I do that on stage, I'm letting them know that regardless of what's going on, he's my keeper. He's my provider. He's the reason why I'm married today. He's the reason why everybody you see around me is here. He's a way maker. So when we surrender all of that to him, we can have something like this. We can have a testimony. We can keep on pushing, keep on moving. And I believe that it opens a relationship up as well. Where you don't have to feel so like I can't speak, and I don't have to feel like I gotta hold that in. Like you get what I'm saying? You get what I'm trying to say?
If I don't have a true connection to the Father, I can't see you.
Okay, so you get what I'm saying. Do you get what we're saying? Do y'all understand what we're saying?
Yeah.
Do y'all understand what we're saying?
So that's what it was for us.
So we everything we say always boils down to we connect. The connection. We gotta.
No. I'm gonna pull out the questions and we're gonna get the sign.
All these books.
We just sign as we go and look for
But in my hand, we didn't sign a lot of it. Thank God we love y'all.
There's a quote I came up with that says, "When everything in the world leans crooked, that which stands up straight becomes the outcast."
Wait, say that again.
When everything in the world leans crooked, that which stands up straight becomes the outcast. The world is full of let's just say darkness. Nobody wants to stand. I'm not going to say that. I got to be careful. Not nobody, but thank you.
It's not cool or popular to.
We made a decision that we want to stand and make loving God, make a healthy marriage, make doing things the right way attractive again. Because you got enough examples out there that are very destructive when you peel back the layers. It looks like success, but it's actually seductive sabotage. It looks like success, but it's seductive sabotage. And we would sit there and watch these things and we say, yo, Father, wherever you take us to, we're going to represent you to show that you can still have nice things. You could drive exotic cars. You could have a beautiful home and still be uncompromising in your faith and your values and care about the less fortunate and be humble. And so that's like who we are at the core. I'm going to answer these questions because we'll look up every 6:30 and we won't have done what they'll be like, they did not understand these.
And I also think too, before we start asking questions, that you have to have somebody that truly touches you, that you look up to, that inspires you in their walk. Like for us, it will be T.D. Jakes and his wife.
Yeah,
for us, it will be Michael Phillips and his wife.
What up, Mike?
For us, it will be our brother Pablo and Rashia. Like we have a team of people that check us, that pray for us, and that show us what it looks like. You understand? So I think that you guys we always tell people, like, we're not professionals, nor are we trying to be professionals. But we are two two Black successful people who have a story and been through some things and have been through a lot of bad relationships. And we're coming together, blending a family, y'all. Blending a family. Shout out to our oldest son, Trayshawn.
What up, Big Ed?
Kayla, and our two grandbabies, Honey, Cohen, and Kyan, who keep us moving. And then we have
Hey,
Zion, Dallas, and baby Keziah. And so, you know, we're sharing our testimony, keeping it real and keeping it honest, but also reminding you guys of how we do what we do, and that's our Father, which are in heaven. And we just want to inspire y'all. So let's start signing books, and we'll start.
And that's a great segue. So, what would be what is the biggest takeaway that you want readers to gain from reading our book?
You know that nothing in life is easy. My grandmother used to always say, "Too much is given, much is required." Anything worth having is worth fighting for. When we were down during COVID, Ken and I saw a lot of divorces that would like break my heart.
Yeah, that was crazy.
And not judging anyone, you know, maybe it just couldn't work. But I believe that the enemy hates marriage.
Of course.
You know, and so we just want to show. I wasn't finished with that one, but I believe that you have been using this pen and you lied because it's going out.
Nah, I wouldn't lie to you, baby.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take it anyway, just to put it to use, because you said you didn't like it.
Yeah, we're not gonna do that though.
But that's what I want people to. I think when people look at my life, yeah, that's another thing too. Y'all know I've always been keeping it honest since I've been in the game, and y'all also know everything that I've been through because it's been plastered and it's been on every magazine, radio station, news station, blase, blase, blase. And I think you guys know that, okay, if she says she mean it, like we watched her bounce back, we literally watched her. I have people come up to me and be like, how did you make it through what you made it through? And so that's my thing, is I want you to know it, that nothing in life is easy. Anything worth having is fighting for. And I believe that when you find your soulmate, even when you can't stand them, you don't want to see them in the mornings, you can't stand to hear them talk, you can't even stand to hear them walk in the room you in. There's been plenty of times where I've been like, I can't stand him. And he felt the same. Anything, he's worth having and he's worth fighting for. So that's what I want.
I think my biggest takeaway would be my firm belief that great men come through great trauma. I think great men are birthed through great traumas. And I want men to, if it's worthwhile, you see anything in my demonstration, not in me, because I tell people all the time, don't ask me if I'm a good husband, because I got a talk game on. Don't ask me if I'm a good husband. Watch my wife.
Where are you signing that?
I'm putting signs right here. None of these are my signs.
Yeah, all these. See, we're not getting to it.
Yeah, I got a sister. Yeah.
Oh, I was wrong.
It's all good. I would love for men to read the book and for it to create dialogue. To be able to start talking about some of the things that you kept hidden. To be able to see me being open about my mistakes and my shortcomings and my weaknesses and find the courage to deal and face with yours, because that's really what manhood is about. I can't help my wife in the area of her weakness if I'm being naive and ignorant to my own. That actually makes me a walking contradiction. I can lead her and help her through hers if I'm processing or have processed through mine. But if I'm acting like I have it all together, then that's just like a time bomb waiting to go off. So I really want men to be able to say, yo, like, that's a different way to approach the situation. Or, you know what, I actually dealt with that. Or, you know what, I could have handled that different. I'm not really listening. That was we had a breakthrough while writing this book one time. We had a breakthrough one time while writing this book. And between the writer and my wife was saying something to Hillary. Hillary was catching and said, okay, so what you saying is, and I'm sitting there and I'm like, so what you saying is, She said, yes, that's what I've been saying for 7 years. And she got tears in her eyes, and I'm like, yo, I get it now. In certain areas of this marriage, I could hear her, but I wasn't listening. I could hear her. So I hear you. You ain't listen, I hear you. No, but I wasn't listening. I wasn't listening to figure out how I could first understand and then to fix. Men, sometimes we go straight, I want to fix it because we don't want to be bothered with it. But you can't fix something you don't understand.
Yeah.
So first we have to get understanding, which means getting out of sympathy and getting to empathy.
Yeah.
And then we can, so I want men to be able to look at it, look at my contribution of the book. More importantly, look at my wife, look at my life, look at my family. Don't get hung up on what I say, but watch my demonstration and find something out of everything that I am and do that you can just take and add to your role as a husband. Because being a husband is an enterprise.
And I want to say to all the men, if I can speak for the women.
Say something.
Stop calling us emotional.
It's true. I had to get over it.
We're women, okay? We carry, we birth, we love, we build, and we worship. That's another thing. We cry out. I'm gonna go even deeper. Have you ever sat back and thought about how can a woman sit and worship and cry out, and I mean cry out and go in for something they've never seen? Ooh.
Here's the problem with calling women emotional, though.
What?
We are also emotional.
Come on, somebody!
Man, listen, we're incredibly emotional. We have our insecurities. We have all of those things, man. So if we just come together and start embracing our truth.
Yes, but women, we can't listen. We are fillers. We feel, we carry. Honey, we'll go over to our next door neighbor house and be like, I've been thinking about Susan, and she's been in my spirit, and something ain't right, and we'll go put a package together to keep, inspire her, and that's just who we are. Love on it, appreciate it, cause we make sure y'all, I'm not saying bad word. Not bad word, but y'all straight, because we love that hard, we care, we are emotional creatures. So stop reminding us.
I'm going to the next question, fellas.
Yeah, go ahead.
I got you, fellas. They're like, man, get a foot off my neck, bro.
Yeah.
I got you. Let's go left. This is a question. What was it like on Idol? Did you ever dream that you would turn into a sensation? You are definitely a sensation.
Is that my baby? Oh.
Kezzy.
Is she married?
She's
laughing.
Oh, she laughing?
At Dallas. What was it like on Idol? Amazing, but it was hard work. Just like it is on Color Purple right now, it's hard work. Just like it will be when you find your partner, it's hard work. Just like it will be when you start your business, it's hard work. I was talking to the young lady that did my makeup today who said, I just jumped in the car, up and moved. It ain't been easy. I've been in hotels, I've been doing this, I've been doing that. It's hard work. But if you got a vision, and if you know deep down inside this is what you're supposed to be doing, it's going to be hard work. So, it wasn't easy. It was hard work. But again, anything worth having is worth fighting for. As much as given, much is required.
All right.
Yeah.
Let's see what we got.
Babe, I'm mixed up now. Are these the sign books or no?
If they open?
Are you going fast?
No, I'm just talking and signing.
You caught that trap? Oh, that was funny to you? You see the shade?
He's talking to anybody.
I'm just talking and signing.
Travis say not talking and signing.
They say, Kendall, but we're going to tag team this. Say, Kendall, can you share with us the beginnings of Rock Soul and Salute first? How did Rock Soul?
No, you can, because yours don't work.
They don't want to write for you.
Yeah.
How did you start Rock Soul?
Okay. So, no, I think you've been using it. You lied.
That's right there in the closet.
Yeah, that one goes over there.
Yes, ma'am.
I had been doing rock soul like right when I met you. That's when I realized that my gift was bigger than just R&B. Honestly, if people were paying attention when I was on Idol, we didn't just do R&B. Like they made us do all genres. So I had proven that I'm such a music lover and come from such a musical family. Shout out to my dad and all my uncles and my favorite big cousin Casey. We got music running all through our veins. And so Idol had proven that I'm bigger than just R&B. And then if I ever do a documentary or anything, reality show on my whole entire family, you'll see that music, rock, pop, jazz, folk, gospel, of course. It's all in as well.
You can't bring me a pen, but I told him it works. Continue.
So I started hitting the stage a lot, and I would tap into different genres on stage. Summertime, I would do a little bit of Tina Turner, James Brown, gospel. I would do a little bit of everything on stage, and I realized that if they don't see it, let me remind them of what this is. It's rock, soul. It's a little bit of everything. So when we started doing this, I got a tag on my hand. But I was still up on her label, still locked in, praying that they would release me. I was just watching Taylor's story the other night. She's kind of going through that same thing. And finally, when me and Ken linked up, it came to a point where he was running $1 million business. I had some great things going on over here, but couldn't see any of it. None of it was going in my hands, so we just decided to say, hey, let's walk away from everything and do it together.
Like we talk about in the book, we don't name any names because it's not necessary. Because God said, "Vengeance is mine; I shall repay."
Preach.
So we don't need to do that. But like our first 3 years of marriage, man, combined, we had grossed $30 million. Couldn't get the car fixed, like move, do some upgrades to the house, and it wasn't right. So we were sitting in the sauna. It was my wife's car. She was like, "Yo, we could fail on our own.
Come on, somebody.
We don't need support to fail. So why don't we just jump off the cliff and leave everything behind?" And we did that in 2016. 2016.
Wow.
And here it is 2022, and we're just really walking in the fullness of that sacrifice. And it's been a beautiful thing. Still a ways to go, but we're in control.
I feel like marriage is a bit like that too, though. You ever heard couples, and we hear couples say like, year 5 was rocky, year 6 we thought we was gonna split, year 7 now we in year 13, and I feel like it's my, you know what I'm saying? I feel like marriage is the same way with business. When you first start a business, it's not gonna pop off immediately. We can Google that, and we can go from every genre. We can look at Jay-Z stuff. We can look at what's his name? Bezos. We can look at some pastors you may love and follow. We can look at some singers you may love and follow. Some dentists, some doctors, some whatever the case may be. When you have that vision, it doesn't just. Some people would think you may come from a filthy rich family and you ain't got to put no work in, and that's good. Okay, great. A lot of us.
Lord forbid if you lose it then, because you don't know how to build it.
Ooh.
See, we've had lost, and built again. We know how to build.
But I'm thinking about marriage when I talk about that too.
Yeah.
Ooh.
That's why you can't take nobody's man. All right, so.
Okay. But it's the truth. If it's not something that you work hard for, it ain't gonna stand. And we put all of that in the book. All of my crap, all of what I've been through, all of what Ken's been through, because we realize like that's what made us who we are today, and that's why we have the fight that we have, period.
As far as Salute First, man, it also has been a journey, man. I've been speaking in the prisons for free for 4 years before I actually started getting paid.
I said that.
I'm talking about travel to LA, do something with my wife, catch a flight back to North Carolina, drive 2.5 hours to go speak and try to empower men. I believe I've done enough research and we've gotten enough feedback where I can now start saying I know. There's a lot of programs out there for men, for character development, leadership, so on and so forth, but they're outdated. And in every generation,
Why are they outdated?
because in every generation, it requires a new voice because the people have a new ear. Look at the music from 10 years ago.
Yeah.
You know, look at the music from the 2000s. Look at the music from the 90s. Look at the music from the 80s. Look at the music from the 60s and the 70s. The ear changes. And when the ear changes, the voice has to change in order to be heard.
Oh, I got a question.
Man, come on in.
I do feel like the music has changed and everything has changed. And you do this though. You come about it with a different swag, but
I don't lose the essence.
But you don't use the essence of the old. Cause come on, what we play over all the way here today? Of course, gospel. We went to what?
Anita
Baker. Who else Mama wanted to hear? Luther.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like those were the songs that kept us in love. Those were the songs that. So what I think that God is raising up is people like ourselves to bring a new flow to it, but still keep the same oil on.
And, so, and my flip is saying, I'm gonna take ancient principles, universal laws, and scriptures, but I'm gonna gift wrap them in the culture. And that's what we set out to do. And the response has been absolutely insane. And so I don't want to get all into that. I'm really focused on this book right now, but you can definitely stay tuned, man. We got a 6-month training program that is going to be released all over the country, and we're getting some international buzz for the Salute First E1 Leadership training program. And I can't wait to drop it, but I'm going to wait to drop it.
Well, before that drop, though, it's still some of that in here.
I would say so.
Our book is different, though, because y'all, we brought, it's like Taylor talk. It's not just like somebody else speaking for us. It's me and Ken going back and forth. Like how we doing Taylor talk. Is it?
Look at that. We can't send y'all that. I'm going to get it to our auntie.
She over there talking about, I'll take it.
So weird.
Yeah, we'll get it to you. And we sorry that it's messed up, but I bet you what. You've been sitting over there the whole time doing like this, so I dare you.
Sign that. That's you right there.
I dare you to
come
go
over here, got my wife over here looking like 2014.
Hey, don't be frisky.
Why?
We are going on a date night tomorrow, and I'm stupid. Travis laughing. I'm excited.
She's so excited.
Because Ken always tells me that he married me to.
I just married you so I can date you for life. In order to date her for life, I had to lock her down. I just wanted to date her forever. So I was like, all right, let me go ahead and marry you.
And maybe I got a mean date night dress. And she's going to make me look like I had just dropped.
Hold on, let me sign her book again. What are we doing on her book? Come on, baby.
I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah, there you go, baby.
Thank you so much.
So she moved, okay, say it again. Christian. We just met today, but I always say the good Lord works in mysterious ways. That's a line from The Color Purple. She is from Indiana. Indianapolis. And how long ago?
2019.
Okay.
May 17th to be exact.
Okay. Came down here, you just said, I'm out of here, I'm going to.
I had a layover here going to Atlanta, and I said, well, I'm moving here. And I transferred my job, and I just left. I didn't have anywhere to live. I stayed with one of my client's sisters. And
Now I have a question for you. You don't have to answer if you want, if you're getting too deep or whatever the case may be, but I saw you all like crappiness. Are you in a relationship? You looking for a relationship? You ready?
I guess I would say looking, but like it's been so much of the men part that I'm like, because like I've worked so much on myself. So now hearing that part, I'm like, oh, so I'm not tripping. Like, y'all do have to work on yourself. Because men will really quick make you feel like, no, you're doing too much, you're doing too much. So that really was like, when you work on this, so it really was like, okay, yeah, it hit.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
You don't want a man who can just appreciate yourself, your self-development. You want somebody who can contribute to it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because I've been young, dumb, stupid, old, dumb, and stupid. And we could be an incredible distraction. But when you find the right scenario, man, not only will it feel right, but it'll expedite the matters that are in your heart, whether you share it with them or not. You know what I mean? She's done it for me, and I pray I've done it for her. You know what I mean?
Sorry, everybody. I can't remember what chapter it is in, but I speak about me preparing for Kendall before I even knew Kendall was preparing for me. So I hope that it blesses you.
That's why I can't wait. I'm like, okay, prepare.
Yeah, light your candle, light your candle. I don't know if you drink wine, champagne, or hot tea, whatever the case may be. But invest in yourself and prepare for the things that you want. Because sometimes we think we're ready, how I was, and I wasn't quite either. Like I was blaming all the relationships, but I really had to take some time out to learn how to love myself.
Because being tired of being alone doesn't mean we're ready.
Yeah.
Being tired of being alone does not equate with being ready. And we've all made that mistake. We're so tired of being alone, and I'm ready for, but you're looking outward for what you don't have instead of looking inward for what you still got to develop.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
That's why since we turned 30, I realized like it was things I was like, okay, these are common denominators. So like me looking inward and to hear like a man like, oh, I did the work myself. It's like, oh, two people doing self-work come together.
Yeah.
So then it really is like, okay, there is somebody out there who I'm working on myself, and it's just
Oh, God bless you,
oh, I can't wait.
Real talk. Okay, what time is it? I know. Okay,
we
we
got
good?
7 minutes.
Okay. So you just be keeping
Boom.
it
I like it. They said, what is the go-to date night for y'all? Tomorrow.
Yes.
Tomorrow. We got a little spot called Bentley's. Now, Bentley's has moved with a sentimental to us. So I remember the first one I was like, yo, I'm a flex. And because she's so, understand the word simple. She's very complex and sophisticated, but she's simple as far as it doesn't take a lot for her. But I wanted to flex. So this was when Bentley's was on the 26th floor downtown, like you was above the clouds. And y'all, I took her up in this spot, I valeted, and we walked. She's like, where we going? I'm like, I'm on my KT there. And I'm like, you follow me. You know what I mean? And we go up in there, and she literally sits down and she's crying. Pete. Because in the book, I talk about how I dealt with some insecurities because I didn't know where I fit inside of her life. I made some assumptions. You smell me? She's crying, and I'm like, is it allergies? Is it a food allergy? But she was like, no, nobody's ever done anything like this for me. Now, I know she's dated athletes, musicians, so on and so forth, right? You know, sea fillers till I got here.
Seat fillers, I'm dead.
You know what I'm saying? I made the assumption that what could I offer her that she's never had? That moment, that day at Bentley's, I realized I had a lot that I could offer you. I realized that I was strapped. You know what I mean? Because just to see that look on your eye, almost like, and all that you've seen, and it's not just the spot, because she's been at a nice restaurant. It was the moment. Don't get it twisted. She's been at a nice restaurant. I ain't gonna say nobody after ever took her to a nice restaurant, but it was the sincerity. It was the genuineness. It was the. Yeah, what was it?
Okay. So when I met him in downtown Charlotte. We didn't meet at Fahrenheit. You ever been to Fahrenheit? Okay.
Yeah. No, me and you didn't meet at Fahrenheit.
And Sonya. Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
we didn't meet. You were there.
Yeah, I was there.
I met one of Ken's friends who happened to be from High Point, North Carolina. What up, High Point? And he came over and he was just like talking to me. He knew certain things. We were talking about furniture. We were just talking. I thought he was by himself because he just stayed over there with me for about an hour.
We was cool with that.
My girlfriends, we talk about this in the book. My girlfriends were pissed. They kept tapping me, kicking me like, girl, get rid of him. Because they hadn't seen me. I did my second Broadway show for 7 months. So they hadn't seen me in a while, so of course they want to kick me. Oh my God. I'm behind.
It's the magic pen.
Okay.
I don't know what else to do. I don't know what to say.
So he talked to us for like, well, to me for like an hour. When I realized he was with guys is when we all were leaving, right? I saw Kim, but I still didn't see Kim. So one of the other guys was like, yo, why don't y'all go to Sweet? You ever been to Sweet downtown?
Mm-hmm.
Been to Sweet yet? Okay. So like, go to Sweet with us. I'm like, my girlfriends didn't want to go. I'm like, well, you know, I've been doing Broadway. I look cute. Come on now. Okay.
I can't
yeah,
snap,
you
but
can't snap.
yeah. I can't snap, and I gotta protect my wrist. You know what I'm saying? You know, get you back right there. You know what I'm saying?
I was looking so good. I was like, we're gonna go to Sweet Girls just for a little bit. The guys were a little tipsy. We talk about that in the book, and so we were a little like, do we really want to go in? And I see this beautiful. But I swear, like. I don't know if I had a couple of drinks, but it looked like you had some lights, like coming.
That would be anointing. That would be anointing.
I see him
Calling
coming down.
fresh.
I'm like, wait a minute.
On me.
And he said, like, really calmly, like, listen, I want to apologize on behalf of my friends. You know, we've been out all day, we're tipsy, but if you guys want to come up, chill. So at that point, I was like, yeah, I'm going up. Ken and I talked. The sun came on.
And she didn't bring me my food, man.
I did. I told him I went to the midnight.
So here's the thing. If I ask you for something, you can drop the ball. But when you offer me something, then it's our first time meeting. First of all, I had only seen like old pictures. I didn't know her music. I knew somebody.
He didn't think it was me.
Nah. I said, well,
which a lot of people do me that. They're like,
you're pretty in person.
Or they'll say something like, you know who you look like? You look like Fantasia, just much prettier. I'm like,
yeah, but they got to see you on HD.
Anywho, he didn't think it was me. And I did. I offered him some food from this place downtown.
She called me like the sun is up. It's 6 a.m. Like she's like, yo, you know, sweet little boy. Should we bring something to eat?
I cook for you.
You make every night. Yeah, you do. Why you gotta shimmy that? Why you gotta shimmy
every night? But I forgot what they used to ask me. I started talking about
date. They actually was our ideal date.
Yeah. So we.
But that was one of the questions too. So we can.
He took me to Bentley's.
Yeah.
When I met Ken, I got to see the true Kendall, the conversations that we talked about. He never like hit on me. I made no eyes. I hope this is not too much for Facebook, but I felt like he was making love to me through conversation. But it wasn't like he was talking crazy stuff. We got 5 minutes. And so I fell in love. It wasn't like some of the other guys that I had dated who were just trying to show off. Like as soon as we meet, I get off the flight and they got a car outside and then they take me. But I wasn't able to get to know them. It was just about the money they made, what they wore, what they drove, and the house they lived in. And I was like, yo, I'm so over that because I can make my own money. Like, who are you? I got to know Kendall, who he was when we first met. So the night he took me to Bentley's, that was a moment for me because it showed me that he wanted to treat me like a queen and he wanted to give me the best, and it wasn't about like, look what I got and look what I can do. It wasn't about that. It was different. And yeah, I cried. And we had a great night that night.
It was a beautiful night. It was a beautiful night.
That's when I got hooked to Orchard.
And so Bentley's has since located right down the street, right? It's not on the 26th floor anymore, but it means something to us.
Yeah.
So we go to like ADB's, we like to go to Merchant Trade. You know, we got spots we like to go to, but Bentley's is just our spot. Like it just because of that story, it's our spot. We don't get bothered. They love the owners always show us love, and so like we go to Bentley's, and then because I'm not gonna tell y'all where we go tonight because there'll be a whole bunch of people out there. You know what I'm saying? We got another little spot we like to go for a little nightcap, and then we just decide whether we're gonna come home or not, and that's up to grown. We could have been going out of town to go to church.
Yeah, we're going to church.
On a Saturday.
Trust and amen.
On a Saturday.
Okay, do we have enough time?
Definitely gonna be revival.
One more question, crazy. Kendall,
Yes,
one more question. Do we have time for one more?
Yeah.
Yeah, you about to go off the edge.
Well, they know what they signed up for. This is me. I love my wife. I adore my wife.
Y'all, thank y'all for like 3 minutes.
Okay, what is your 3 minutes? So you got a minute and a half. You got sexy stuff. What was your favorite chapter to write together? And would there be a book tour to follow?
That's a good question. There will be a book tour live Taylor.
It might be at the Apollo.
Oh yeah, we are going to the Apollo. I'm gonna have to sing to y'all before we get through with the Taylor Talk. Come on, we gotta do it.
Forget it, I'm gonna sing too.
He's a great hummer. Okay, what's our favorite? I can't say because I think a lot of them that.
I know mine.
It would probably be. I don't know. We have so many.
Yeah.
No, that's hard.
I buy you some time. Contracts and Covenant. Contracts and Covenant is my favorite chapter in the book.
Blended family. I just feel like it wasn't tough or hard, but we were coming in with,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
kids and failing at trying to be the best parents we could be and trying to figure it out. Now coming in with love and didn't want our kids to feel like we would put too much, that for me is special and learning how to harmonize.
Yeah.
Because I talk about music in this book and how to harmonize what music is to me and what family is to me. So I think that was probably one of my favorite ones.
And don't forget, before we close out, we got married after knowing each other for 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah, we met each other 3 weeks later. We were married, and it'll be 8 years in July. So we didn't know everything, but we saw what we needed to see, and we have been building on that, and we're gonna continue to build on that. And we just hope, you know, our project that we put together. Thank you, Hillary, for capturing both of our voices, both of our genius, both of our perspectives on the same page. Being able to capture both of our individual personalities on the exact same page. We can't thank you enough. And last, we want to hear from y'all. Like, we want to hear how we might have to create something where we just let, you know, people our own little thing, you know.
Yeah.
But people can just, you know, share, you know, there's so many people reading the book and comment and share so much stuff, but like we want to create a community because we can all learn from each other and we can all grow together with the same mission.
Shout out to Hashtag too for believing in us.
Thank you.
And being patient with us because we both have things going on, but this is our baby.
Close it out like that.
Yeah.
Why do you call that another vow?
Because we finna have people posted up talking about what we're supposed to do with this now. We break up, they be posting other things, so what we supposed to do with this now? No, brother.
Yeah.
This is another vow. You in here. Like swimwear, you ain't going nowhere.
You might want to cut camera because I'm about to say something.
No.
You over there, I've been looking at CD for 4 months. I've been looking at CD for 4 months and you done came in with this doggone Loch Ness Monster.
So we want to thank y'all. We're going to go ahead and pray this thing on down this way.
I want to thank God.
Hey,
when that man, when he said fearfully and wonderfully made. But I ain't scared.
So we want to thank y'all for coming to our virtual. This is our first time doing this. This is actually kind of dope.
Yeah.
But oh, baby, crying.
I'm going to get her.
Go get her. We don't want to do this virtually all the time. Our plan is to go on a tour, do a live Taylor talk, and sit down and kick it with y'all. Bring DJ Shy Nice, bring Derica to his crazy self. And we'll just chat it up, man, and encourage each other. Who was that sing? Speak all yourself, encourage yourself. We'll sing that. You probably know this good old gospel song.
Was that Biggie?
I don't know it either. He's too young.
That wasn't Biggie?
Boy, bye.
I'm just kidding.
And he finna Google it. But we want to encourage you guys, and we thank you guys for encouraging us. To all our Taylor Talk family, we love you.
Salute.
We'll see you guys really, really soon. Get your book if you don't have it. We suggest read it with your partner. Read it with your lover. Read it with your husband and wife. And hope that you enjoy it. Hi, Dallas. Don't come on the camera, son. You look.
Hey, this is John Acuff, New York Times best-selling author of 7 books and someone who's done a live signing. If you like the one you just watched, make sure you check out our YouTube channel. It's full of amazing authors having great conversations and signing books for viewers just like you. So make sure you subscribe, and thanks for watching today.